This is all off the record, of course.
Wait, that's a funny story.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, go hey.
Hey, girl. Welcome back to Girls Off the Record.
With Jen and Em, the podcast where no topics off limits, just a whole lot of fun.
And I hope we have fun this week. I think we will because it's a new year. And as they say, new year, new me.
Another year to slay. That's actually, I've just thought of what one of my outs is.
Ooh.
A new out.
We've got an update.
Yeah, an updated out.
So we're locking in this 2025 and we're going to start the year off with some drastic decisions we've made on the ins and outs for 2025. We want to make sure that we line these bitches up and we're knocking down all of the outs.
Knocking them down. See you later.
If you see me pulling something that I have allocated as an out this year, I need you to call me out.
Straight to the graveyard. In the coffin.
Put me in the bin and I'll see you next year.
I'm in the grave.
It's over. It's over. I need to start again. Do you want to start us off, Em?
I absolutely would feel phenomenal to start us off.
Oh, cool.
Well, I'm going to go with the one I just thought of,
Yeah,
which
gorge.
as soon as it came out my mouth, it was like inward cringe. Why have I said that? Please, no one that I'm close to listen to this potty. Was saying the word slay. Like, who am I? I'm nearly 30. I should not be saying the word slay.
You want to cut slay out? For
I
real?
just think slay, there must be a much more sophisticated word that we can put in there instead of slay.
She's done with slay.
I'm done with slay. Sorry.
Slay is out.
Kick to the curb.
Right.
You've had your time in the sun and now we're preparing for winter.
So we're going to have to probably think of something new.
I think just terrific. Or wonderful.
You're going to hit people with terrific.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Someone I used to work with used to say terrific. And I'm like, absolutely terrific back at ya. Double terrific. 2x terrific.
Trip to riff.
Yeah, trip to riff.
Okay, gorge.
Trip to riff.
That is trip to riff. Okay, so slay is out.
Well, for me personally, this is
Yeah.
my out. Obviously, I'm not going to push that onto any of our viewers. If you want to say slay and that's in your vocabulary,
then trip to
and
riff.
you own that, trip to riff. That's in for you. But for me personally, I think we can do better. All right, viewers,
Probably.
we can do better.
Okay. You've heard it here first.
Okay. I think we'll start. That was quite a short one.
That is a good one. I think me
start off.
personally trying to cut out slay is like trying to cut out the word like. You know how we use literally.
It's a filler word. It really
word
is poor English.
Yeah. I think it's also like a little bit condescending when I say slay now. Like if somebody does something that I'm like, that was weird, I'm gonna be like, slay king. Like me saying slay king was a huge in for 2024. So maybe this is encouraging me to update my vocabulary.
Branch out. Upskill.
Which does lead me into one of my ins actually for 2025 is upskilling. Now, when I say upskilling, I think about the fact that when I was a kid, and I've been pondering this for a couple of months, is when I was a kid, I would go up to my mum and I would be like, Mum, I'm bored. And Mum would say to me, darling, boring people get bored. Oh, she read me for filth, first of all. She read me for filth.
I was read.
I got read. She basically said, you're boring. You're basic. My mom teaching me how hard to
recover from this.
My mum. It's actually hectic. Yeah, now that I think about it, that's actually a little bit savage. But she was savage. She said, boring people get bored. And so when I was a kid, I was like, okay. And so I think like unintentionally, I spent a lot of my childhood upskilling. And then as I became an adult, like I'm working, I'm like going out, and I love socializing. I do. But I think recently in the last few months of 2024, I found myself putting more effort into just little things like crafting that really just made me happy. Like I have a knitting hobby up the wazoo, as we know, as anyone that's close to me knows. I don't shut up about my knitting hobby.
Yeah, she's a knitter.
I love
she's
it.
a track star
I
and
want
a
to
knitter.
put a track star and a knitter, and I'm like power knitting. Like I'm not here like grandma mode knitting.
You're on X Games mode.
I'm on full X Games mode. I'm putting on like a hectic action based movie in my with my DVD player in the other room, and I am power knitting.
Ins DVDs.
Ins DVDs, out streaming services. I'm sick of it. Why am I paying for Amazon Prime and then I'm getting ads? What am I paying for? Why am I?
That actually was so embarrassing because I had someone over and we were watching just a friendly interaction, guys. Very PG. I had someone over and we were watching Netflix, and I put on like a movie and we are just sitting down relaxing, blah blah. And then the ads came because if you
Netflix.
on Netflix, because I'm on like the most, I'm a budget girly, and
for
so
sure.
I was on the cheapest one, which is you get ads.
Yeah.
And so we're watching a movie and then it just cuts screen and goes to like an ad, and I'm just kind of sitting there like, oh, and he was like, oh, like, why do you have ads? And I was just so embarrassed because I was like,
you got read by Netflix.
Literally.
That's crazy. Don't out me as a cheapskate.
I know. Literally, I got outed in front of a potential candidate.
Netflix.
Is this man going to be my soulmate now? Because he's always going to remember me as the girl that couldn't afford Netflix.
Cheap Netflix ads. Girl. That's going to be your name in his phone from now on.
Cheap nitty girl.
Embarrassing. Embarrassing. That is not very trip to riff.
It was. Was not trip to riff.
Oh no. See, I don't like that at all. I'll be like mid episode, and I'm talking like, I think I specifically noticed on Prime because they really up it. They'll have like 3 ads. Like I'm having a full commercial break mid TV show, and I'm like, why am I here? And best believe I'm screaming at the television, because if anyone's seen me behind the wheel, I'm aggressive. I do not take units on the road
off the road
lightly. Probably should put that in my outs, but it's staying in. I will stay an aggressive driver, probably till the day I die. And I do the same thing with like streaming sites. I'm screaming at the television. Why are you making me wait? It's like a full minute and a half.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah, so I think for me,
we've got to be crafting. I've got things to knit.
I'm crafting. I'm sitting there power knitting, and you're going to check my flow with a commercial break?
How dare you?
If I wanted that, I'd just watch free-to-air television. Definitely an in for me is replacing my media with like DVDs, with things that I actually physically own.
I think as well, the thing about putting in a DVD is that I feel like I'm more like focused on what the movie is, whereas whenever I'm on Netflix or something like that, because there are ads and it's like, I don't know, that sort of media, I just seem to get more distracted on my phone. So perhaps you do get that time to really kind of watch the movie, do one thing, be present in the film, and not like be on your phone or distracted.
When I'm on streaming services, I spend so much time, I don't know what to watch. Trying to figure out what to watch because I have so many options.
That's actually a really interesting point, and that kind of leads me to one of my outs for 2025, which is overconsumption culture.
Huge out.
I think it's just become, I'm not sure if it's because we've got more mature, not like mature, but as in grown older, experience more of life, as we mature. But I feel like I've really started to notice the amount of like consumption culture which is like prevalent within society. Like even just something as simple as Netflix, there's just so many options, and you get to this point where you're just like over consuming on watching TV series and the like, just because there's so much options available. I think as well this leads like directly in, which we touched on it in our last potty slightly, was the clothing. Like I'm a victim of this myself, is like I'll have probably like 2 or 3 pairs of like black jeans where it's like I don't need that many jeans. You need 1 pair of blue, 1 pair of black, and maybe a white pair if that's your style. I'm
out here with straight leg, I've got wide leg, I actually have too many. I have a pink pair of jeans, a brown pair of jeans, a yellow pair of jeans.
What are you wearing your yellow jeans with?
I think the thing is, I don't know. Lord knows.
Are they? They're not an out.
No, they're
Are
cute.
they
They're like
okay.
wide leg and they have little cutouts in it. But the thing
Okay,
is, like,
girl.
that's not always appropriate to wear
Yeah.
somewhere. So I find myself not really wearing it.
Yeah.
And I think that's as well what really sparked it for me was when I moved back into my dad's house. I was like, oh, I actually have a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And I know it stems from like growing up and being like, oh, I don't want to be caught wearing the same thing twice. I think that's what it always was.
Yeah.
And I think that's always where it came from. And then recently, I think with how expensive things are these days, and then the quality of what things are in comparison to how expensive they are, has really led me to start thinking like, I actually have no interest. I would rather wear what I have into the ground and then buy a new pair of jeans, for this example, than continue to just have like all these different styles.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. And I think as well, you start to appreciate things more when it's like, oh, okay, like I need a new pair of jeans. This is exciting. Let's go buy a new pair. As opposed to when you just are buying stuff all the time, you just get this instant gratification and you don't actually like appreciate
not at all.
the purchase.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not sure if I saw or read this. Let's be honest, I probably watched it on TikTok. Was someone they were saying, like, if you're gonna buy something new, like a new piece of clothing, then you need to give away something to like. So it's like if you bring something in, you got to take it out.
That's a full hack.
Which I think that's a good one. And another one, because with that, it really makes you think, okay, do I actually need this? Because I'm gonna have to.
What am I gonna get rid of?
Yeah, what am I giving up to buy this? And then also someone else said, which I do this as well. Like you have all these clothes that like I never wear, or I might wear them once a year, or I'm like, I don't want to throw that out because what if I might wear it one day? Like in 2 years, there might be this one niche costume party. You very bad with this.
I have such a wardrobe.
Yeah, and someone said, if you just put all those clothes in like an area in your closet and you leave them there, I think she might said a month or 2 months, and if you don't touch them in that time, then they go.
Yeah. That's true. Okay, so another one. I think this actually really ties in well with the overconsumption, overspending. More overconsumption is the doom scrolling, because I think it's gotten to a point where I'm actually spending so much time online. And I love everything that it teaches me. I think it gives me so many different opinions, and it's helped me form so many opinions that I have today that I'm actually really proud of. It's like, it's little things like it's ways that I've felt for a long time, and then clearly other people have felt that way, posted some video talking about it on TikTok and almost validating how I've felt. But in saying that, the hours I think that I have wasted on just scrolling because of that dopamine hit, like it makes me feel so much better. I think I just look forward to a day more if I'm like, oh, I've got that book I'm reading, or I'm gonna power knit tonight.
Catch me power knitting, watching Matrix.
But like, I actually.
What are you doing on Saturday night?
That's actually what I do on Saturday night. It's like I don't have much of a life. And so it's like, oh, I thought about it, but like the dopamine hit that comes from finishing a scarf, overspending the same 4 hours doom scrolling on TikTok.
It's more rewarding.
Yeah, and I think I want to be chasing that kind of high over just scrolling.
Yeah, I think as well, something you touched on when you initially spoke about doom scrolling was that you get the validation of your opinion that potentially other people might not share. And I think that can actually be quite controversial because you have people that have minority opinions that potentially the majority of the populace would find unjust or inequitable. And then it's just these small minorities where pre-social media, they wouldn't have actually had that connection with other people, so they wouldn't have felt like other people shared that opinion. Whereas now, because you have such a big reach, you can actually get a group of people that are the minority have these really strong views that they feel like are supported by other groups.
Which is both a negative and a positive thing. It could really go either way. But I think ultimately it all kind of gathers into this kind of catastrophic event that just like preys on the anxiety that you have. Like, because I get a little bit tinfoil hat sometimes about the world ending, and if I'm in that mood, TikTok kind of picks up on it.
the
And so then
algorithm.
I leave my TikTok sesh, for lack of a better word. I'll leave the TikTok sesh we've got 2 years left. We're all gonna die. It's like, girl, go outside and touch some fucking
We're
grass.
going 2x on the knitting. Get that knitting out there.
I need to knit as much as I can before the world ends. Seriously.
Before the ice age.
Before the ice caps melt and we all die. Like,
yeah.
Girl, just go touch some grass, breathe some fresh air, nature, go for a walk.
Yeah, I think as well, another one which is on that point of like connectivity, which is kind of intertwined with the doom scrolling, which I think factors off into one of my outs for 2025 is ghosting. And that's because of the ease of connectivity, like online, like meeting other people.
Yeah.
I feel like people just don't put in effort to kind of, I don't know, the continuation of relationships, or there's just this like throwaway ghosting culture whereby it's like, oh, well, on to the next one. I don't even need to like say thanks, but no thanks. I can just kind of fade away or Casper into the night or something like.
Ghost,
yeah.
I think it's actually quite objectifying, if I'm honest, and I think that's why I've found myself not particularly involving myself in hookup culture for the last like probably 6 months, which I will also probably touch on in another ep. Is I've really like protected my peace so much because I know it's probably gonna happen.
Yeah,
I'm not putting any effort into making connections with people because I'm like, oh, you're gonna ghost me. Like, you're either going to ghost me or I'm going to ghost you, or like we'll have a 5-second conversation and just like call it quits. And it just leads for a very like shallow connection with people that's quite exhausting.
It's very exhausting. It's almost like ties in again to like the overconsumption culture where it's just like, because there's so much, like people are so widely available via like dating apps like Hinge and Bumble. It's like there's no need to like connect with people or like do any of that. It's kind of like
put the effort in really at all.
Yeah, it's like no matter, because like if this doesn't work out, I don't even have to message them. There's another 5 girls available
already
online
hitting me up.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think as well, ghosting, like I feel like it's probably another ep where we delve deeper into like how to deal with that and what some things are. You like a little toolkit, but I think ghosting is just, it's the fact that there's no acknowledgement of
that's what
emotions.
It's
that's like just such a, I don't know, there's no, you're not confronting what's happened or the other person, and I think it's really hurtful, and it kind of goes into another in of mine, which is really which is in for 2025, ChatGPT. We love her or him. I personally think of ChatGPT as a female, but
for me it's a male.
Okay.
And I will say that I'm going to be like quite specific on this for a reason. So my Siri also is set to a male voice because I think that it projects, having it automated as a woman projects that women are made to be an assistant. Women are made to be helpful no matter what. And you don't need to give anything in return. They are your assistant. And I think making it always a woman, it's just a pattern that I've noticed. Thank you, TikTok. This is what I mean.
Into some systemic gender types.
I think it is. I think it really is, though. It's like a gender role thing of like, like women are there to serve. And it's like, actually, no.
No, I get that. But it's interesting because I think about it almost like a different way, where it's like I find it is that thesis of like helpfulness. But it's like I find ChatGPT like helpful, like obviously a very intelligent, smart, capable feature, and so I'm like, that's a female, because that's what we are. We're smart, intelligent, helpful.
We are. You're right.
I mean, I don't want to say the word kind because it's like AI. It's not a person, but it's like it's programmed to be supportive. Yeah.
I was so close to saying slay when you said that. I was like, I'm really trying to follow.
Pipe down, Chachi. Hold that word deep. Wait, the other thing I want to say whilst I was on ChatGPT, just to stay on track.
Cut you off. Please keep me back.
That was so to do with ghosting was that this is how I'm like, honestly, I have no time for ghosting. Like,
Yeah.
pathetic. Don't come for me. Like, if you try and, or if there's ghosting or anyone tries to substantiate themselves in their actions when they've ghosted to me because they don't have time to write a message or like they didn't know what to say, sorry, no, straight to jail, don't collect, go. Because all you have to do, go into ChatGPT, say, I've gone on one, insert number of dates, how many you've gone on, or I've just been chatting to this person and, I'm not into it, or something's going on in my personal life, whatever it may be. You don't even need to put in a reason. Put it in ChatGPT and say, could you please write me a message to send this person? That takes 30 seconds? And then it's a copy and paste job.
And at the end of the day, I think what it does is, firstly, it reduces possible awkward interaction in the future.
I think as well, it's just disrespectful. Like, that's probably the big one, the disrespect. Like, it takes 10, 15 seconds just to...
So quick and easy.
Yeah. I've done the old ChatGPT, write me the thanks, no thanks message.
Yeah. You've been known to pull it out. And I think it's actually been quite successful, no?
I mean...
So far, so good?
So far, so good. There was some rebuttal.
Ooh. Spicy.
But it's okay. Like, the heart wants what the heart wants. It just wasn't it. This is probably another, but essentially it was just like, for me, I'm quite indecisive, and so I think I'm also like a romantic, and so I will probably date someone for longer than the expiry period because I'm like, oh, well, I'm not really sure if I like, maybe I do like them, maybe I just need to see them one more time. But I think the fact that I'm indecisive, like, it's that age-old saying, like, if it's not an F yes, then it's a no.
Yeah.
So
Em gave me this in, and it's got to be in because if I put this out, I wouldn't be able to like uphold it for more than 5 seconds.
No.
Word for word, saying long story short and then just saying the long version. So this is very me. I yap, and I'm gonna yap till I die. Sorry, like,
born to yap.
I was born to yap.
Forced to work.
Yeah. Forced to shorten my story. Born to yap, forced to shorten my story. Long story short, I'm not shortening that story. I'm gonna expand because I think
But I don't even think you do shorten the story.
No, I won't.
But we're just gonna be upfront about it.
Yeah, but you know what? As well, if because I yap so much, you want to see me less or maybe space me out a little bit more because I'm a little bit like draining in that aspect. I don't have a problem with that at all. Like, I don't mind with people being overwhelmed with how much I talk. I know I talk a lot. It's what makes me happy. I put a lot of effort into having a conversation where people don't feel like I've yapped a lot because I am aware of the fact that I talk so much. But I think certainly an in for me this year, which is a continued one from 2024, is like just accepting that I do, like, that is what I do.
Yeah.
And just letting people plan their lives around what that is and just letting me be myself a little bit more because I think I always feel so much pressure to like...
You feel pressure to fit in to society or like fit in with other people who, if their level of conversation might be less than what you would generally speak to, then you feel pressure to like lower yourself or tone yourself down, which I think is actually not right. So I'm pulling you up on your out.
Thank you.
Because I think you should never apologize or you should never tone yourself down to fit in with other people.
You're right.
Like, you're so uniquely amazing in yourself and you shouldn't have to change who you are to suit someone else's like ideal level of conversation.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, obviously if you're being, which you never would be, but if you're being disrespectful or whatever, then that's a completely different story. But if you're
but I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just fucking yapping.
Yeah, and the thing is as well is like it's different if you're talking at someone or if you're genuinely engaging in the conversation and there's dialogue and you're active listening.
Yeah.
So you, for me, are the latter. As in you do talk quite a bit, but like you won't talk over someone, or when the other person is speaking, you can tell you're actively listening to them.
Yeah.
So
I do. I think I grew up with a lot of social anxiety. which I think I mask that very, very well. But I do have so much social anxiety, and I think it mostly stems from like that awkward silence that people have.
God.
It makes me so uncomfortable,
Yeah.
and I grew up with it making me so uncomfortable that I think one of the reasons why I do yap so much is that I'm like, I'm happy just filling that space.
Yeah.
And something that I touched on with a friend of mine recently was, she said to me, I don't mind if it's just the two of us and you're yapping, because I don't actually have that much to say.
Yeah.
And it's just really nice to just like hear what you have to say about things. Like, I actually don't mind. I'm like, I really feel a little bit emotional like saying that out loud, because I think it was a little bit
well,
I want to say validating.
Yeah.
To get like a little green light on like how much I talk, and that she doesn't mind, that she just appreciates me just like putting my opinions out there, like, because she can tell how happy it makes me to just like yap. And I was like, oh, I do love surrounding myself with people that actually appreciate and love me.
I think that's it, because it's like, that's an like, be so unapologetically yourself, and you'll draw the people to you who are meant to be in your life 100%. And who are there for you
100%.
Because it's like, do you want to go to the grave and be like, you know, right, I muted myself, or I toned myself down to appease the general populace, when it's like, when you're so authentically and genuinely yourself, like, you attract the right people to you.
Yeah, I would say that that's a big in for me.
Yeah,
fingers crossed. We'll see how it works.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's a really good one, and I think as well there's probably a tangent to that, which is being, which comes hand in hand with being yourself, is that doing things for yourself and not for other people. So I know I have a tendency to be a people pleaser, and I'll put other people's feelings above my own. And then all it really does is that it drains me.
Exactly. So like, it's to your detriment.
Yeah, it's to your detriment. Like, I'll, you know, go to social things where I'm probably kind of burnt out and should really just like have an easy one, but I will feel bad saying no, so I'll go anyway. And I think I've started to be better at this and kind of express when, like, I'm not having a good day, or I'm not feeling up for it.
Listening to your body a little bit more, and where your battery's at.
And I think as well that's more helpful in the long term, because then it's like, when I do spend time with friends or family or do whatever it is that I'm doing, I'm bringing my best self.
You're so much more present.
Yeah, I'm not going there kind of like thinking about like how tired I am or how drained I am or whatever. It's like, I'm there. I'm there to spend time with whomever or whatever it is, get it done, and bring my best self.
That's so good. It's interesting because I feel like I've ended the year last year with these kind of patterns regardless, and I think it's because I really locked into protecting my peace at the back end of last year, and so I think I locked in probably a little bit too much, that I would say that one of my ins is like just doing things. I don't want to say doing things for the plot, because I think that's a little bit 2025.
That's hand in hand with Slay.
Yeah, I think so. It's like, I am doing it for the plot, but I'm not doing it for the plot. I think I just need to stop like over assessing situations so much and protecting my peace so much. But at the end of the day, I think it's led to a huge influence in like my positive self-talk, like really just like being in my own corner, and it's changed the game. I listen to my body so much more. I make calls off of like how I feel and what I want to be doing.
It's such a difference in mindset and in mentality and kind of your life, when it's just, you realize like, this is your life. Like, you do what you want to do. The only person that has to live with your decisions is yourself.
Exactly.
Like, your mom, your dad, your siblings, your friends, they're not the ones that are going to have to go to sleep every night and be comfortable with those decisions that you've made and that life that you've chosen to live, or the person that you've decided to be. I can chuck in and out.
Yeah, chuck in and out.
This one's not that deep, guys. So this is to do with like online dating and Hinge and the like. One of my outs is beginning a conversation with, hey, how are you? Or even just hi. Like, at least just throw in like a here go, hey. Don't say that. At least just throw in like a howdy, or like
a howdy. You got a howdy over hey?
Yeah, I'd go a howdy, partner. At least it's got a bit of pizzazz.
I mean, I like the idea of a cowboy, specifically a bilingual cowboy on a carriage. But you want a howdy?
No, but I mean, it's if it's the
You
best
take a
of,
houdy over hay.
yeah, over best of two evils,
Less of two
the
evils.
less of two evils,
Yeah.
yeah. Or like an aye captain. All aboard. I'm like, heck yeah, I'm gonna swim over to you. But I think, yeah, that's just an out because it's just boring. How are we gonna have a fun conversation with that? A tip would be, get something, look at their profile, get something off their profile, like
ask me a question
about my profile. Like if they've got lots of like photos at the beach, be like, are you a good swimmer? Because, you know, will you save me if we go to the beach on a date together?
Instant conversation
Instant
starter.
convo starter.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think one of the reasons I haven't been on a dating app for probably nearly a year. I think I gave one a crack. One night we like made a Tinder profile for me, like on the big screen, and got a little bit drunk.
So fun.
Like it was fun to like put that together. It kind of felt like I was making like a MySpace page or something like that. So that was like fun. But then I think I literally lasted 24 hours and I was really bored. And I don't want to say that it's like, I think it was both the balance of like upkeeping conversations with multiple people. I found like really exhausting. And then second of all, like some of the messages were really hardcore and then others were like really boring. And I was like, I just cannot judge if I've got some sort of connection with somebody over them being like your place or mine.
Oh, out. I
was like, what?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm just too awkward or something.
No, I'm not into that. Another one I've just thought of, which is similar thought process of that, is if I've got looking for, because you know you can have looking for like short-term relationship, long-term relationship, or like figuring out my dating goals, and then you can have like interested in monogamy, non-monogamy, and something else. Yeah. If I've got looking for a long-term relationship and into monogamy, don't come messaging me saying, hey, do you want to come over, or like in wanting some short-term fun.
Read the room, player.
Read the room, sir. You know, please don't be illiterate. Read the prof.
Please don't be illiterate.
And then revert once you've read the prof. Don't apply if you haven't read the brief, the JDF.
Do you think that that's just kind of men doom scrolling on the apps and just being like cute? Like, do you reckon men like read?
I don't think, honestly, I think they don't read. They'll just swipe on. I think some people actually just go like swipe, like right.
Yeah. I have seen videos of that.
People doing that.
I don't know. I think that's probably like led to one of my reasonings for not really going near dating apps in general, is that I'm a little bit, I get exhausted. Well, you know, I get exhausted just like with Instagram. Like,
yeah, I think on that, like the social media draining thing.
It's draining.
Viewers, if you need to contact Jenna, message her.
If you need content, just get me on Facebook. Okay?
But I think it's because it's so, which is kind of into the dating realm again, is it's just very artificial and disingenuous. Like there's no genuine connection. Like you can talk to someone online for weeks and weeks and weeks and feel like close to them, but it's like all artificial. It's tailored. Like you have time to think before you're replying. You're tailoring your responses. You're not getting the emotive body language.
Yourself.
You're filtering yourself. And so that's an out. I'm very against like pen pal dating things online. Like happy to, like, you know, if you want to use that as a forum to like potentially meet people, which I get because it's like very hard being a younger person trying to meet someone. But I always opt for getting off the apps quite quick and like meeting them in person, obviously being safe, like a public place or whatever.
Definitely. And
just seeing if there's a vibe in real life as opposed to wasting.
Vet them and then get to a bar or whatever you
vet
want
it
to do
and get it.
Yeah. I think certainly that's something that I want to put in place. Although I would say I don't really put myself in situations where I'm meeting people anyway, so it's not really something. But I think for 2025, throwing a little bit of that protection that I've been putting myself in, throwing a little bit of that to the wind, and just.
I think that's romanticizing your life though. Yeah. Which is an in. It's like doing things like making those little things that you see in movies or that you see in TV shows and going and doing them and like just making it a thing. Like, you know, if going to the shops, doing your grocery shops. Like maybe that's, putting on a cute outfit, getting your favorite playlist on in your car, or like wearing headphones and doing your grocery shop and making it like a nice activity, and just being open and, approachable to if someone were to meet you.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think definitely, and that would probably be something as well with all this upskilling that I plan on doing this year.
We need, in 6 months, guys, we need to do like an upskilling check-in to see if Jen's what she's
That's a good
upskilled
idea.
in.
Maybe I'll hold myself a little bit accountable. Okay, so current upskill goals for 2025. I want to start learning Kung Fu, or like
okay.
You were not expecting it to go there,
Kung Fu Panda.
That's actually where it comes
Should we start calling you Po?
I think I want to learn Kung Fu, or like some sort of fighting style. So I'd like to join like a class with some sort of fighting style. I think that would be really cool. I just want to get a little bit physically stronger. I think it would just be sick to like karate shit. I don't know. So karate, I want to do face painting.
Wait, what?
I want to do face painting.
Like at children's parties?
Like an adult, like I want to start doing like adult face painting maybe.
Okay.
That was like a really random one that I actually just thought of this morning. But I was like, so if anybody wants face painting at their parties. I also want to learn how to DJ. I know every man.
I want to learn how to DJ as well.
Bandwagon to DJ. So that would be cool. But I think that's the 3 that I thought of.
Okay, watch this space. Karate, the ancient art of karate.
Yep. Face painting.
Adult face painting.
Adult face painting.
The specificity needs to stay within the realm.
It's important.
And then 3rd was the
DJing.
DJ.
I'll find a class or something. I don't really know where to begin.
I think they have TAFE DJing.
I'll do it. Should we wrap it up with our hot person of the week?
Absolutely. Hot person of the week.
That's so cute.
Okay, do you want to go first?
I went first last time. Okay. You go first this week.
Okay, so my hot person of the week showed themselves to me this morning on my hot girl walk. So as I was walking along, I look up, I've got my shades on, got my potty on.
It sounds like that Miley Cyrus song. Tatted up mini skirt with my shades on.
Oh, yeah.
In the club, high on perk.
It's got Miley is so good.
I mean, your shades on.
Yeah, shades on. And yeah, it was just this lady walked past me, amazing figure, obviously really athletic, really takes care of herself. She had this little which I'm like a long hair girly, but she had like this kind of bleach blondish like bob, but it was like very like well kept hair. It wasn't like the frail.
It was styled.
It was nice. Yeah. She had a cute little activewear outfit on, and I thought, girl, you're just slaying. Shouldn't use that one.
Trip to Riff.
Getting a fine. She was trip to Riff, and just, I thought she looked gorgeous, and I was like, love that for you.
Inspiration.
Yeah, I was like, you are doing amazing.
Yeah.
So she's my person of the week.
I love that. I think a huge in for me is like appreciating beauty.
Enjoying each other's beauty.
Yeah, enjoying each other's beauty. So for sure, I love that. I really like that. My hot person of the week is also a woman, I believe. I probably should have actually checked, but I'm going to say that they are, because their name is an artist called Shy Girl.
Okay.
A musician. She has this song called Heaven. On Spotify now, Shy Girl, Heaven.
Shout out.
And I have been playing it all week. I've had this song on repeat for a full week. And so I was like, you know what? If you're going to make a song that fire, you can be my hot person
of the week. Yeah.
Hot.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah. Concluding remarks, ins and outs were so sporadic. If you kept up with what we were talking about at any stage
then
today.
What was it?
Trip to Riff.
Your trip to Riff.
That is like a huge brownie points for you, because I lost myself in whether we were talking about an in or an out.
I know, I did momentarily, and I had to reference the word in and out, and I was like, oh god, I hope I've got the wrong one. I mean the right one. You never know.
Couldn't tell you. So that wraps us up for today. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you for listening. As always, peace and love.
Peace and love. See you next time. Bye.